man, what's the deal, YouTube? Your boy Lil Man. We back at it again on the chart, you dig? So look, today we gonna go over the quote, right? So for this video, the quote is gonna be, failure is not the opposite of success, it's part of success. So what does that mean? So basically, everybody's gonna fail, right? Michael Jordan didn't just go out there and get 6 rings out of nowhere, right? No, he got kicked out of his high school team, college team, high school, something like that. He got kicked out of his high school team or college team, right? And now he has 6 rings, right? So he failed a couple times. He failed. He didn't win every championship he was at, right? So he failed a lot, and he's one of the greatest basketball players in the world now. But it's just showing you that failure is part of success, right? You can't just start something new and just be the best at it, right? You have to go through trials and errors, grind, fail, and then at the end, when you're consistent, you know what I'm saying? Then you'll finally be successful, right? So failure is always part of the game, right? So that's basically the quote for today. I know my hair a little key, kind of a mess. We're gonna get that chopped up by next video. But that's the quote. And today we're gonna be going over a market breakdown, right? I'm gonna be going over this trade that I did on gold. So stay tuned. All right, so what's up, you guys? And sorry if I sound tired or whatever. It's like 7 o'clock in the morning. So anyways, let's go ahead and outline this chart, right? So as you can tell, this is gold, XAUUSD. So let's go ahead and outline it, right? So as you can tell, prices hitting here as support, right? You can identify that because price hit here and bounced up, hit here and bounced up, hit here, bounced up, hit here, bounce, and then now it's acting as resistance and falling, right? So as you can tell, this is a good level of support, right? So let's just take price back a little bit. So price broke under this support, right? And it came back up above it. So let's just add in my trend line. So I was connecting this point to this point, right? So let's connect those points. So as you can tell, price is acting as support right here. Resistance, 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 resistance. So this is a major trend line, right? And here was a little fake out, got a bunch of buyers, and then price just stopped them all out, right? So price broke out again right here, right? And let's go to the 4 hours so we can just identify market structure real quick. So as you can identify market structure, what is price doing right now? This is a low end price, right? This is a high end price. And now prices came back to make a higher low, and then price is making a higher high right here, right? So now what are we waiting for after a higher high? We're waiting for another higher low, right? So we're waiting on this. So, because you wouldn't want to buy right here, right? Because this is a push phase, push phase, push phase. And it's always going to retrace, right? Because price don't just keep going up, keep going up, keep going up, right? The market has to run out of steam, come back, retrace, and then go. Come back, retrace, and then go, right? So you wouldn't want to buy in the push phase, right? So you wait for a pullback. In the market structure, you wait for a higher low, right? So we push, retrace, push, retrace. Low, high, higher low, higher high. So now we're just waiting for price to come back, right? And you can also tell buyers in the market right here because it broke out of this major downtrend, right? It's in fat downtrend. Price is making lower lows, lower highs, lower lows, lower highs, right? So now we can see that buyers are starting to get in control, right? Because price is now shifting out of that downtrend and it's making higher highs and higher lows and higher highs. So now, So now let's connect these trend lines right here, right? So basically, I just plotted this point and this point. So now, what do you think I'm gonna wait for? Another touch, right? Old resistance coming back to test new support, right? So let's add in our MAs now. So as we can tell, this is a little area right here, right? Things are starting to line up in this area. We have this trend line right here that acted as support at once, twice, and then we ran it through, right? So we connected this point to this point. And now we're waiting for another touch, right? And we're also waiting for this other resistance, because this trend line right here that acted as resistance like 10 times, it's going to turn new support, right? Or that's what I'm thinking, right? So act as resistance here, 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 and all back there, right? So now I'm thinking that's going to come back to test as support, right? Because it broke out of all that resistance, right? It broke out of that, showing buyers are in the market. Buyers are controlling the market right now, right? And like I said, we wouldn't buy right here because this is a push phase, so we're waiting for a pullback, right? So everything's lining up in this area. We have the 200 MA on the 4-hour coming right here. We have the 50 right here. And we also have the 100 right here, right? So everything's kind of leaning in this area. So now let's drop to the 1-hour. So this is the area that I'm looking to take buys, right? Because it's just a confluent area, right? So let's go over it again. Price in this downtrend, making new lower lows, lower highs, lower lows, lower highs, right? And acting as support right here on this trend line, or at this key level, right? So now price is shifting out of that downtrend and it's making higher highs, higher lows, higher highs. So now we're just waiting for what? A higher low, right? So let's go back to the 1-hour. So now that we have our little area right here, right? All we got to do now is either wait for price to come there or wait for price to not come there, right? Because we don't know what price could do. It could just shoot up and just keep going up, right? So let's see what price is going to do. Okay, so price came back here, right? Now it's at this trend line, old resistance, and now it's acting as what? Support, right? Because you can tell price came back down here. Sellers were all the way down here at one point, right? And then buyers from right here as this support level and this old resistance turned into support, right? So buyers pushed the market all the way back up right here, right? And then it closed that candle right here. So this is just a fat rejection candle right here, right? And obviously we would want to get in a buy right here, right? Let's look at this date. Let's see what date it is. December 21st. So that's a Monday, right? So the market just opened, right, on the Sunday, and now it's coming back to test. So this is just a little rejection, right? And you wouldn't want to get in here because the market just opened. So I wouldn't want to wait for another pullback into this level, right? Because I wouldn't want to get in here, because if you wanted to get in here right now, you wouldn't have a good risk to reward, right? Because you would probably buy right here. Your stop loss would have to go under this wick, right? And you would probably want to put it under here, under this wick too, right? So look at your stop loss. Look how big it is. And then you would probably aim for right here, right? So look at this risk to reward. A 0.78. That's not even a 1-to-1, right? Definitely not even a 1-to-2, right? So obviously you wouldn't want to get in this trade because that's just a bad risk to reward starting off. So let's wait for another pullback into this level, right? So we can have a better risk to reward. Okay, so now you can see prices come back into this area, right? So let's go down to the 1-hour. Now I'm just going to put a counter trend line over here, right? Because this is showing prices rejecting here, dropping. Rejecting here and dropping, right? So this is a downtrend, and you want to wait for price to shift out of your way, right? You don't want to try to buy right here if price is in the lower time frame downtrend, right? Even though we are trading off a bigger time frame, right? We're not trading on the 1-hour, we're trading on the 4-hour daily, right? But this is just a little counter trend line to show that this is a high, low, lower high, lower low, right? So price is in a downtrend, lower time frame. So now we're waiting for a shift out of that, right? So as you can tell, what did price do? It came back, and you see how it's hitting this 200 EMA, or MA, not EMA, my fault. So you see how price is rejecting right off this 200 MA. It's rejecting right off this 200 MA, and price is also coming back to touch this trend line, right? And this trend line is a major trend line because, as you can tell, it bounced here, here. So these are 2 points, right? And we just connected those. So now this is the third touch, right? And this is what I was waiting for. So this is, everything's looking good right now, right? So now all I'm waiting for is price to shift out of that. Or actually, I forgot to draw my fib. So this is where I have my fib, right? Swing high to the previous swing low, right? So Fibonacci is basically just a retracement, right? To catch retraces, right? In a trend, right? It has to be in a trending market because you can't draw fib in a consolidated market or whatever, right? So it has to be trending, making higher highs, higher lows, or lower lows and lower highs, right? So this is an uptrend. So we drew our fib from this low to this high because on the 4-hour, this is our higher low, right? And this is our higher high. So this is a previous swing low, swing high, right? Let's go back to 1 hour. So as you can tell, price came back. And you see I was giving a little bit of reaction on the 50, right? So I acted as support right here on the 50, and it bounced, right? And then it came back. Let's see what it does. So you see how it bounced again right here on the 50, as well as this 200 EMA or 200 MA that it's lining up as. So now everything's looking good, right? And price is now shifting in our direction, right? So I'm pretty sure I got in probably about right here, right? I'll show where I got it on my Instagram too after this video, right? So I'm pretty sure I got in right here. So now let's do our stop loss and our take profit levels. So now that price is down here, right? And look at this rejection, right? Rejecting right off this 50, right? Fat rejection. So this is looking good, right? And it's rejecting off this 50 EMA, right? And this 200. So let's look at our stop loss level and take profit levels. So since we're looking to buy on the 50, off of 50 bounce on the fib, well, other confluences too, right? But since we're looking to bounce off the 50 on the fib, we're gonna click right here, right? Because this is where we got in the trade, right? And since we're looking at the 50 for retracement, right? I'm gonna put my stop loss under the next level, right? So it's over all these MAs, it's over this trend line, and it's over this support resistance level, right? So this is a good stop loss because price has to break through this trend line, has to break through these MAs, the 200 and the 50, and it has to break through this whole support level, right? So that's 3 obstacles in the way. And it has to break through this 50 as well as the 38.2, right? So that's 4 obstacles that it has to break through, right? So now this is looking good for a trade, right? Because now we have our risk to reward, right? So now that we have our stop loss, let's add our take profit, right? So now for our take profit, since we have our stop loss in, right? So I was looking at this level right here, right? Because price is acting as support, right? Broke, came back, tested as resistance, right? So this is a little level I was looking at for my first take profit, right? Well, my only take profit, right? So now we have our risk to reward in there, right? Put this wick. Actually, it was a 1 to 2, so it's probably about right here, right? So now that we have our risk to reward, and this is a risk to reward of 1 to 2, right? So we're risking $100, let's just say, to make $200, right? Because it's a risk reward of 1 to 2. So this is half the size of this, right? So this is a good risk reward, right? It's not that 0.76 or whatever risk reward I was on. It's a 1 to 2. So this is a good risk reward, right? So now let's drop down to the 1 hour. Let's see how the trade goes. So I was waiting for price to get out of this downtrend, right? This counter trend line, right? And now it did. So about right here, right? Because price is pushing out of that trend line, right? So let's see what price does. So now price is moving in our direction, right? It's starting to push up. Now it's retracing a little bit, playing around. And as you can tell, price playing around a little bit, reacting on this 618 fib. now hit our take profit, right? So this is, I'm pretty sure I closed the trade exactly at this wick, right? So I wasn't aiming up here, I wasn't aiming here, I was aiming for this wick, right? This little key level that I had. So now the take profit hit, right? So we won the 1 to 2 trade. We had good risk to reward, right? Because we didn't have that little 79 risk to reward where if you do that 100 trades, you're not going to make money in the long run, right? You're just going to wipe your account out or whatever, right? So we had a good risk to reward, 1 to 2. And we trade took profit, right? So that's just the gold trade. And it was a beautiful trade. Like I said, I didn't actually place the trade, right? I was just managing it. And in my head, I was in the trade, right? Obviously. But it wasn't on my MetaTrader app. So this is the first time actually that I ever traded gold. Like ever. Not traded, because I just said I didn't trade it. But you guys know what I mean, right? This is the first time I traded gold and hit my take profits. Alright, so that's the trade breakdown, right? And that's all my confluences right here in this area. And this is where I took the trade and good risk to reward. So that's just the gold trade breakdown, right? And actually, let me just tell you guys what I did after that. So now let's see what happens with gold. Came back down, retested again. And then it shot up, right? So it shot up. And then this week, I entered another buy position, right? Because obviously price is making a high, higher low, high, higher low, and now what? A new higher high, right? Well, whoa there, brother. And now a new higher high, right? So now I was just waiting for a pullback. And as you can tell, the 50 EMA is lined up in this area. So I was just looking at this area to take another buy, right? Because it was acting as resistance, 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 and now old resistance turns what? New support, right? So I was just looking for another buy right here, as well as a trend line balance, trend line balance, trend line balance. And I had a fib on here from swing high to just swing low, right? And as you can tell, 38.2 is lining up in this area. So this is just looking like a good confluent area to me, right? So price came back down to that area and rejected off the 4 hour, right? And it started heading up. And I get in the buy after these rejections right here, right? I got in about right here when it started pushing up on this candle. And I was aiming here, and my risk or my stop loss is like under here, right? Because it has to break through this trend line, this 38.2 level, this 200 EMA, right? So that's where I have my stop losses, my take profit. It was a 1 to 2 trade, right? So now let's see what price does. Price start pushing up in my favor, right? Start pushing up, and then price started coming back down to the level. Things are still looking good, right? Because price is still in this level. It's not breaking the trend line, not breaking support. So everything's still looking good, even though price is not pushing straight back up, right? Because price don't just go straight up. It moves and plays around, right? So things are still looking good, looking good, looking good. Looking good. So everything's still looking good, right? So now price is breaking out of this trend line, right? So now I'm getting a little fearful, right? Because price is not bouncing and doing a little retracement and bouncing and going up, whatever, right? Now price is starting to show their sells in the market, right? Actually, I had another trend line in here somewhere. I do not know where, but I know that it was bouncing. Dang. Actually, zoom this out. Yeah, so this is the other trend line I had right here, right? So resistance, 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 resistance. And now it's coming back to test it again, right? So after it broke these both trend lines, right? Now I'm getting fearful. Now I'm getting a little worried, right? Because price is not bouncing, going up, bouncing off trend line, going up, bouncing off trend line, going up. Now it's rejecting and falling through the trend line, right? So I'm pretty sure I got out around here, right? Because I moved my stop loss up like right above this wick after price bounced here and it started coming back to the trend line again, right? Because it bounced once, bounced twice, and now it's come back and it's not bouncing again. So I moved my stop loss up like right around here. And this is where I got out of the trade, like right around here, right? Because price is bouncing out of that trend line, and on the 30-minute, It's just breaking the trend line, and now it's coming up to retest it, right? And now it's falling. So I'm pretty sure I got out around here, right? And then let's look what happened to price after I got out. That, right? So I'm glad I got out right here, right? Instead of keeping my stop loss down here and taking a full 1% loss, right? I just took like a half percent loss, 40% loss, or 0.40% loss, something like that, right? Instead of taking a full 1% loss, right? So that's just having good risk management, right? So I just wanted to show you guys that too. But anyways, that was a trade breakdown for gold, right? What's up, you guys? Appreciate it if you watched the whole video. If you have any questions, please comment down below and just let me know anything you have, questions, comments, concerns, anything. But appreciate you for watching the whole video, and click the subscribe button. Click the subscribe button right now, actually. Like, stop whatever you're doing. Just click that button quick, because I got like 42 subscribers, and there's at least, I don't know. Just click that button right now, though. And click the like button, and see you next video. Peace out.